humidity sensing. Humidity sensing and the Captain series controller. The humidity sensor will allow you to keep your plants drier, prevent mold, and that kind of thing. There's a lot of different things you can do with humidity, such as running the vents open, little louvers go open, turning fans on, and even turning a dehumidifier on. So you have to know which one of those three things you want to do, because they're all controlled differently in here. And as a common question, we want to know how to run humidity on our controller. And that is a loaded question, so I'll go over all those. So the first step, see if you have humidity shows up on your screen. And if not, you go in the setup, the configuration menu, and you scroll to P16. If humidity sensor is enabled, you got to make sure you put that to a value of 1. Hit save and exit out of there. So that will tell the controller to know if there's a sensor connected or not. That automatically hides and unhides all the features within the system. So if you don't see any humidity reading on the screen, well then it's not enabled, and all the humidity features will be enabled. So it's really cool. You go and enable the sensor and all these features show up. Then the second step would be you would wire the sensor in. And we'll show a diagram of how to do that as well. But essentially you get a long cord with this, and it's right here. I don't know how well you can see it in the video, but that makes the humidity display on the screen. If you just show 0% humidity, it's because the sensor's not hooked up. So now I'll go through and show you all the humidity settings. So we got vents and we got fans, got heaters on here. So just press anywhere in the screen, system settings, vent 1 set point. So we'll go through here. Really important. P173, humidity vent. That is which vent, or that vent is either like a roll-up vent, or we call vents anything that takes a forward signal and a reverse signal, or open-close signal. And you select which vent. You got to just pick one vent, and then we'll put that to a value, vent number 1. I'll go back in there, and then vent 1's maximum humidity, because now we had enabled the humidity sensor, now enabled vent 1 to be responsible for it. And now when the maximum, whenever it gets above 95% humidity, vent 1's going to open. And it's going to open for 10 seconds. And then there's a humidity limit. If it gets too cold and you don't want it to freeze out the greenhouse, like this is a 32 degrees. Right now it's set to 32 degrees limit, because so if it gets colder than 32, it's going to just say whoa to this humidity thing. Because what it does, it gets too humid, and it'll run one of the vents open for so many seconds. And that's entirely up to you and your greenhouse how far you want it to open. Because if that's a ridge vent, it won't take long at all. You only need a small crack the whole way down your greenhouse, and the humidity leaves quick. So that's the sequence of your humidity for your vents. It's not a whole lot to it. Which vent it is, how many seconds you want it to open whenever it gets too humid. And it's just going to run open that many seconds and just sit there. Because it don't take much. In 40-degree weather, you don't need much of an opening, and all the warm, moist air leaves quick. But if you decide you want to use fans to clean it out, that's another story. So, P350, fans maximum humidity. You can select a fan or multiple fans to turn on whenever it gets too humid. And normally you use some small fans, and too humid, it'll just run that fan for a while. And you just set your humidity level, and it'll just like turn on whenever it gets too humid. So that's pretty easy. There's a humidity dead span, humidity limit for the dead span. So if you want to turn the fan on at 75% humidity, then you would turn it at a 5% dead span, would have it turning off at 70, so your fan don't bang on and off too much. Then there's a temperature limit for it as well. So if it gets too cold, shut her down. And yeah, the humidity fans, you can have one or all your fans, or any, it don't matter. This is more versatile. You can select which fans you want to come on for humidity. So that gives you an idea of what you can do. You can have vents crack open a little bit, or you can turn a fan on. And technically that fan circuit could be louvers or any other. Give it electric and it opens. The vents are always motors that roll one way or unwind. Wind up, wind down. So that gives you, the vents always go both directions. Fans can be anything that just takes electric to actuate. The other feature in here is an actual dehumidifier. You can set up a dehumidifier app in here and turn it on whenever it's too humid.